This feels good. Give me a few months and you'll have me. I will have 65 kilograms like that.
Hey guys, welcome to the show. Today we're going to be setting up our own home gym. We got Force USA. Hopefully it's going to work out. The thing is, it's easy to buy stuff, but you have to assemble it. So we're going to be assembling it right now and then getting buff. You ready?
Yes, I was born ready. Let's do this. I'm pumped. I'm thrilled. I've had my protein. I'm ready for my workout.
And what is this amazing gym area that we got right here? That's right, we went to Bunnings and we got some gym flooring. Why? I don't know, it's just what people do.
The boxes are numbered, so this is 1 of 8. I'm just gonna lift it up and let's have a look what's inside. Oh yeah, look at that. So the first step of this build is to familiarize yourself with the manual, which we have done. And you'll see that it has got lots of different components to it. But why it has this is because these are the naming. So for example, this is number 40. And so when you flick over to the actual assembly, you'll find number 40 and you'll be able to tee it up. But one thing that we've just worked out is that when it comes to the nuts and the bolts, you'll see that it's got the code here, which basically will represent whatever is here. And it will say the number that they're going to refer to when you come to assembly it, and the quantity of the bolts you have. So that's how you interpret this, which once you've got it under control, I mean, I think it should be fairly straightforward.
So we're gonna bash this out step by step. What's on the first page?
First page is to do the base, and we're gonna get these pieces, and we're just gonna get the bolts ready, and yeah.
Ta-da! All right, we're ready for step 1. We've got all the pieces lined up. Now we're gonna inspect the pieces. Some pieces, I have noticed already, they make a weird rattling sound. It's like there's sand inside them. So I'm just gonna shake it until the rattling sound goes away. And just make sure there's no chips in the paint, because otherwise it can rust. So just document everything, make sure it looks good. If replacement parts are required, I guess you can send it off for a warranty replacement. But now we're just gonna bolt it in together. Step 1's gonna get done. Yeah! So just looking at also the items, they're mostly in good condition. However, I do notice there are a few chips. Paint chips over here, paint chips over there. Pretty much on every single one there's a little bit of paint chips, and that means that the exposed metal is exposed, which means it can corrode. So I've got myself some flat black, just epoxy enamel. I'm gonna give it a spray over the bits that are exposed, so that way when I assemble it, it's all nice and protected. Working through the manual, one of the issues I've come across, but I figured it out, so it's all good, is that it doesn't actually show you what all the pieces are. So for example, it says 104, 102, and then 95 over here, but as you can see, there is a spacer next to the 95. 104 is the spacer, but the 104 over there isn't actually shown, and it's happening over here as well. So I think you just kind of like just go with the flow. If it shows you that there is a spacer there and there is a 104 shown somewhere around it, or basically if you're using a size 10, then you need to use a size 10 spacer. So that's what I'm just doing here. I'm adding in spacers where I see it is on the manual, even though it doesn't have the actual, label shown. So once you master that, it should be good. Another issue, just noticed, it looks like some of the parts are slightly bent, but I'm hoping that once I tighten it up, it's gonna straighten up together. All right, official step 1 is complete. It's all set up. Oh, that's what it looks like there. So what I'm gonna do before I go into step 2 is actually I'm gonna rotate it, because I want the bars facing this way. And step 2 is actually going to be super simple because I totally understand the instructions now. These are the bars that the weights are going to be hooked onto. So you get a hole here and you got a slight here. I push the bolt through. All right, one thing I learned about step 2, maybe always look at the manual in advance, is that I actually need to lift the whole thing up because I've got 2 more big bars that I need to place on. So I need to get these bolts underneath here to screw the big bars in, and the bars I've just painted in, so it'll take about 90 minutes to dry. So have to do that, that'll be fun. So I just unbolted it and bolted the tall one in first, and then I'll bolt in at the end. Instructions. As you can see right now, it's coming together really well. The next step is actually to put the weights on, but because I don't know exactly where to place it, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put these posts, the front post and the back post, I'm going to put those on just to give me an idea of the spacing that I'll need around the situation if I want to rotate it or not, because once the weights go on, it's going to be very, very heavy to move. So I've just already touched up the paint right here. Obviously defects all the time, little scratches here and there. So I've touched it up, waiting for that to dry, and then I'll put the posts on first, just to give me the idea, and it should be fun. I'm getting the whole hang of it. It's just bolts from now on. Now it's just bolts, nuts and bolts. In case you're wondering, I'm using this digital torque wrench, and I've set it to 15 Newton meters. I don't know what it should be, but I figured one of me pushing it, 15 sounds like a good number, and I can stabilize them all at that point. It's very, very strong, and it gives me something to aim for. So yeah, digital torque wrench, pretty good. If you do know what it should be, pounds, inches, all that kind of stuff, just let me know and I'll adjust it. So we can see what it looks like now. So it's going to give me an idea of spacing. I'm thinking, sitting like this, I'm probably going to be too close to this window. So I'm either going to rotate it, get myself more space, or push it a bit further out. So I probably just need another half a meter that way to make it usable. So even though you know the size of it is depending on the description, really give yourself an extra meter on top so you can be comfortably walking around it. So glad I never put on the weights yet. Don't follow the steps in order. Read all the steps first and then do it. Coming along real well. Maybe I'll put the squat rack in now, and then once I've got that, I'm going to really figure out exactly where I'm going to place this, because it's a lot bigger than I visualized it would be. Once I figured that out, then I can put on the weights and we're almost done. So there's 4 boxes here of weights. The weights, yeah, not that heavy. So I guess what I'll do, just to be pedantic, I'm actually going to measure a few of them, just make sure they're all the same weight, and then I'll put some in. Let's go check it out. 9.5 kg, so it's around 20 pounds for 2 of the weights. I guess it's 10 pounds each, or just slightly over. And I'll just switch them around, just do a rough sample to make sure all the weights are about the same. Just got random 2. And that one also comes to 9.5, so they both seem to come to 9.5. I'll do also some other random selections, but yeah, it's around 10 pound or 5 kg, just under 5 kg per plate. When assembling the leg press, these 2 pieces here, because they're movable, I've set my torque to 5, and that kind of gives it a nice bit of movement with it holding. And also when using the assembly, you're using the thickest bolt, so that's pretty spectacular to look at. And there's some grommets that you need to, or according to the manual, you need to find and press on. So I spent like a good long time looking for these grommets, but they're already pre-installed, so that makes it a little bit easier. Time for the leg press. Pretty easy to set up so far. And this one just slots in just like that. Putting on the cushions is very simple. You just get little bolts and just thread it in from the back. All right, now it's time to put together the setup bench. It looks pretty easy. Let's do it. So I just loosened up the bolts just to make this very, very loose, so there's no friction when I'm playing with the cables. So according to the manual, the bolts are meant to be going upwards, but it's a bit of a tight squeeze. I just personally find it easier having the bolts always working with gravity rather than against. So I put it in the way that it's same on the other side. Just little shortcuts makes things easier. All right, this is interesting. So the front of this Force USA, in the manual, it actually tells you to install it this way around. So it's hidden away. You can have it facing this way, and all you do is just rotate this rather than having this on the right side. You just jog to the left side. For the weights, I actually weighed every single one individually. I found that they range from 4.8 kg all the way down to 4.5 kg. So I've actually stacked them in weight order, and I tried making it symmetrical. So 4.8 is at the bottom and 4.5 is at the top. At the very top, this one's about 3.4 kg. That goes up and that gets locked in with the pole, so you can connect it all together. So you got this lock plate at the bottom, goes in to this weight, just like that. But this is actually slided in to the holding pole. One thing to note, this pole doesn't go right to the bottom. You actually lift it up slightly and you put it on the one just above, like that. That allows this second locking pin to slide in easily into all of the other holes. Because if you just let this pole drop to the bottom, you won't actually get alignment. One thing I found was that these pins, they work up to a certain level. So to fix that, I had to lift this guy up, take this pin out, remove this piece, and then put the pin in directly at this point. And that lowers the bar enough so it gets locked in. Bit strange, but it's a workaround. One more thing I'm probably going to do at this stage is actually I'm going to just make sure that it's level, because I've noticed that on my floor it's leaning a bit forwards. So I'm actually going to lift it up a bit and just make sure the ground is level and put some spaces underneath so I can fix that. So as you can see, that level is way off. It should be there. So I ended up leveling the weights just by putting a spacer underneath the actual weight itself rather than the frame, and that made it work a whole lot better. So I'll show you it. There's a spacer underneath that circle. Because when I was putting a spacer underneath the frame itself, it made everything a bit wonky, whereas just putting it on the weight itself keeps the weight straight and it still works. So now that I'm happy with the location and everything, I'm just going to lock it into position by putting the hat on. So if you ever want to add more weights or remove the weights or play with the weights, this hat is what you need to take off or put back on to do it. Gotta say that was probably the hardest thing to do, just twisting all the metal so it can just perfectly align. Probably because I'm installing it backwards, that's why it went a bit haywire. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through all of the bolts now, just one by one, and just one by one I'm going to just tighten it slightly, because I don't want to over tighten one side and find that I struggle on the other side. So I'll just tighten it evenly across, and then hopefully we're almost done. One thing that helped me out quite a bit is actually this Viking arm to help me twist the frame together. I raised this part here, and that allowed me to thread that bolt through, so you can install it on your own as long as you got a Viking arm. Yeah, hopefully I can make a Viking arm out of this one. So I get it set to 1.5 first, then I'll make it 5, then I'll make it 10. I actually found another 2 in the boxes, so now I'm gonna have to undo it and do it all again. Yay! Alright, this is the final hurdle. We have, look at all these, we got all these pulleys. They're like Santa Claus, all of these. And we're gonna have to hook them up on this 4-tiered system. The instructions look very, very complicated, but I'm just gonna take it nice and slow and just attach them onto together. So let's just do it. What's cool about this point is the gym is not connected, so I can jump on the apps machine. 2, 3, 4. Let's get it done. I'm not exactly sure why they have multiple holes in them. Maybe once it's all connected, if the tension is a bit too tight or loose, you can then switch them around. As you can see, I've spray painted the ends of the cable just to give it a bit of exterior protection. Luckily in the manual, it does seem to have some sort of indication as what the different ones could be. I think 6.2 means 6.2 meters, 7.3 means 7.3, 2.8, 2.1, and 1.6. So I think I'll be able to figure out which cable to use for what. So it looks like here, for some reason, the cable's a bit too short. So I think what I can do is, I can move the bolt from the top, make it to the bottom, and that will make it slightly longer. So I think that's what I'll do now. Manual. Alright, that's a relief, it worked. So all I need to do is just tighten up a little bit and we're good. This cable is not long enough by default, so it looks like I'm going to have to expand these guys just to make it a bit easier, because right now it's on the tightest setting. So I'm going to untighten these to make this a little bit longer.
All right, I have our youngest gym goer ever who is gonna now start to train those biceps up and lift some
She's
weights.
not actually going to go on it, don't worry.
But I am. I'm so excited. Is it done?
You got to do that.
You ready? The best thing about having a home gym, no subscription fees, go anytime you want, and you don't have to like worry about people saying, I'm on this machine, I'm on this machine, and being sweaty and nasty. Oh, this feels good. My muscles feel worked out already. I'm so unfit.
So up to 3 people can use this gym at the same time. One guy can be doing the abs, another person can be doing the legs or the chest, another person can be doing the squat rack or the flies, because you've got 2 sets of weights.
Oh my goodness. My muscles are burning. Oh, this is nice. Oh, feels good doing exercise. I haven't been to the gym in forever. Oh, I love it has an abdominal crunch as well. It's so good. Oh my god, this machine feels so good.
Okay, try the squats.
Oh, I'm gonna try the squats, babe. That's where I want to go. That's I like how you put it on like the maximum kilos. That's not me. I might just go a little bit lighter for now. Build my muscles up. Oh yeah. Yes. I think I'm gonna go heavier actually. Yep. Going heavier. This is good though, mind you. This is, oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And you can actually adjust your chair. So at the moment I'm doing like mini squats. If I want deep squats, I could push my chair forward. Oh, that feels good. Oh my god, I have not done this exercise in like literally years. I think I'm gonna get fit. This is nice. And you know the best thing about it is you're in your home, you get your own view. You can listen to your own music, you can put a TV up, you can just be awesome basically. This is so good, look at me.
Do you want to try the flies?
Yeah, try the flies. Oh, my legs feel worked out. I'm so unfit. I'm so unfit. Oh,
Try holding the arms like this.
it's really strong like this.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
You should reduce the weight.
It's too strong for me. Let's try this again. It's embarrassing, man. You know, give me a few months and you'll have me. I'll have 65 kilograms like that. Oh, that feels good. Oh, you know when you work out and it's like a really nice sensation? That's what I feel like right now. I've missed this. I've missed this so much. Oh, this feels good.